Hey there, welcome to the Reinsurance Podcast, the place where we dive into all things reinsurance, the coolest part of insurance. We're your hosts, Jared and Ben, a couple of ex-practitioners who loved the industry so much we founded Superseed to tackle some of its biggest headaches. And we're here to share our insights and stories with expert guests as we uncover what's really going on in the industry. Welcome everyone to our favorite episode each month, which is the news roundup for March.
Da, da, da.
News jingle. Kicking off news that maybe not the most surprising, but Lloyd's has officially announced delays to Blueprint 2, which is moving from a July target 24 date to now an October target 24 date.
Yeah, I think not really a surprise to many people around the market. There were some discussions about pressing ahead regardless, but I think from most conversations with people around the market, everyone was expecting this to happen.
Yeah, but wasn't this already a delay from October or something of last year to being...
I think it has moved a few different times. It was originally scheduled for 2023, then there was a second date put for 24, then
they refined the scope and kicked it another 6 months, so...
Yeah. It's a massive deal there. If you look at the scope of what they're trying to do, like turning on, such a massive pile of premium overnight. You do want it to work and to not go wrong on the day they do the switch.
And this is like we've seen this with other tech providers in the industry where like they flip it all on for a transition to like V2 of this thing and none of it works and everyone, so you're right. It's better get it right
the
than...
prudent choice to delay, I think, maybe.
Next one in the news, reinsurers and personal lines drove outperformance of U.S. insurance composites last week.
Yeah, so this was exciting because it doesn't happen that often, I guess, that insurance as a class is outperforming broader indices across the stock exchange. But out in the US, thanks to the reinsurance, good times at the moment, long may they last. But also the personal line sector, we've seen that the stocks of those companies are actually doing really well and beating peers.
We could spend more time on this, but I'm wondering if like leaving mega cat states is helping their performance and their stock price. TBD. Yeah. The Moody's here saying that reinsurance demand is going to remain strong, but price is probably peaking in 2024. We sort of talked about this last year, sort of throughout 23, is like, is this the peak of the hard market? When will it begin to sort of transition down? Moody's is sort of their estimate is it's going to peak next year, this year.
Yeah, I think it's at the point where, if all the reinsurers are putting out great profit targets and pretty much achieving them, it seems, and doing very well, so that it becomes harder to manage that negotiation conversation and say, we're the poor underpaid reinsurers.
Yeah, like, woe is us.
5 billion in profit. Thank you very much. So that will come to a point of probable stabilization, I think, rather than regression for a bit, at least in the absence of any new capital.
No one's got their cans with coins jingling in them anymore. Allianz, interestingly, this one was really interesting. In 2023, Allianz turned down 34 deals over sustainability concerns.
Yeah, I think this is what we'll see more and more, actually, from a lot of players. Perhaps a starker bifurcation of those who do and those who don't, but this general good corporate citizenship of paying attention to what's in your supply chain. In insurance cases, who you insure is kind of your supply chain. So it makes sense to be taking care of that, and the industry's largest, Allianz, makes sense for them to be leading the way there. Yeah,
well, and at least leading the way publicly. What I think is really interesting here is the amount this is happening. That's like they're not sort of tracking it internally and then making a statement later saying these are the ones we did for this specific reason. But I think this is happening more and more, and this is more important to the insurers, as you point out. I wonder if this will drive more companies to report on this. Because Allianz, as you said, because of their size, can very much lead the way here. And then the last one for a very punchy news episode for us, AI bringing systemic accumulation risk potential towards portfolios. That's what Munich Re is sort of saying.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think if you look at the market at the moment, we are seeing a few different dimensions of AI risk. You've got, on one hand, its impact on cyber and traditional perils beyond cyber, in fact, but also you're seeing people start to insure AI as well, which is quite exciting. So I think Munich Re, talking about this issue, are actually also talking about their products that they're offering now for those using artificial intelligence in commercial applications. I think it's quite exciting to see how we're starting to insure AI but at the same time to be aware of the fact that there's potentially systemic risks associated with doing so.
Yeah, I think compared to like maybe more traditional cyber, I think you'll see this get solved in public. I think there'll be a lot of like very open conversations as we address it head on and solve and create products. Like I think you will see the creation of solutions in the industry like in the news the entire way through, and that will be something that we watch happen in real time. Indeed. The history is being televised. What's that? Revolution is being televised.
Indeed.
In this case.
Next up, in just a few days, not to give away when we record, 1st of April renewals.
I think you say April Fool's Day.
1-4. Also April Fool's.
But yes, up and coming Japanese renewals. So Japan brokers, thanks for listening during your very tired period. But yeah, we'll talk all about 1-4 renewals,
or
4-1 renewals, what
all
pricing conditions
and
are. I miss those puns. Well, thank you everyone, and that we'll see you in April.